When a veteran NFL wide receiver speaks up about a rookie quarterback, people notice. When that receiver is Jeudy and the praise is as glowing as it was for Shedeur Sanders, people don't just notice, they start talking. A lot. This isn't your standard rookies doing well compliment. This is a full-on cosign from a respected player who's been around elite quarterbacks before, a player who knows exactly what separates hype from reality. And according to Jeudy, the reality is that Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Jeudy didn't mince words. He talked about Shedeur's growth since arriving in the league, how the confidence is visible, how the throws are sharper, how the command of the offense is miles ahead of where most rookies are at this stage. He pointed out the poise, the way Shedeur doesn't flinch in pressure moments, and how even in practice, he's out there making reads like a veteran. He's getting better every day, Jeudy said. You can tell he's been putting in the work, learning the playbook, building chemistry with the guys. When he steps into the huddle now, there's no hesitation. He's in control. That's a big statement, because control is something rookies often lack. They may have arm talent, athleticism, and flashes of brilliance, but commanding an NFL huddle? That takes respect. And respect isn't handed out, it's earned. What makes Jeudy's praise even more impactful is that it comes after watching Shedeur through every stage. OTAs, minicamp, training camp, and now preseason. The improvement hasn't been a fluke or a hot streak. It's been steady, deliberate growth. You can see it in the timing of his throws, the touch on his deep balls, and the confidence in his eyes when he's scanning the field. Jeudy highlighted Shedeur's arm strength and accuracy, but also made a point to emphasize something more important, decision-making. It's not just that he can make the throw, Jeudy said. It's that he knows when to make it. He's patient. He doesn't force it, but when he sees his window, he delivers. That kind of praise matters because veterans can smell a pretender a mile away. You can't fake timing with receivers. You can't fake anticipation against NFL defenses. If Jeudy's impressed, it's because Shedeur is doing the hard stuff right. And it's not just Jeudy noticing. Analysts like Stephen A. Smith, Dan Orlovsky, and Adam Schefter have been lining up to back the rookie. Stephen A. called him a future starter whose time is coming sooner than later. Orlovsky broke down tape, showing Shedeur reading blitz packages like a second-year pro. Schefter pointed out the building buzz and how quickly Shedeur is becoming a name that carries weight in NFL circles. Behind the scenes, teammates are seeing the same thing. Shedeur isn't just showing up to meetings and going through the motions. He's engaged, asking questions, taking notes, and pulling guys aside to talk through routes or protections. That kind of work ethic doesn't just help him. It builds trust across a roster. And you can see that trust starting to pay off. Myles Garrett, who isn't exactly in the business of handing out compliments lightly, has reportedly been impressed with Shedeur's toughness and composure, even when going against Cleveland's aggressive defense in practice. For a rookie QB to earn nods from both sides of the ball, that's rare. The chemistry factor is also huge. Jeudy made it clear that Shedeur is already fitting into the locker room in a way that's natural, not forced. He's relatable, but he's also respected. He knows when to joke around and when to lock in. That balance is what allows a young quarterback to lead without it feeling like he's overstepping. And leadership isn't just about talking in the huddle. It's about the moments in between plays, helping a receiver reset after a drop, keeping linemen engaged when the drive stalls, making eye contact after a big completion to let your guy know you trust him. According to Jeudy, Shedeur is already doing those things instinctively. If you've been following Shedeur's journey, this moment feels inevitable. He's been carrying expectations since his days at Jackson State and Colorado, following in the footsteps of his legendary father, Deion Sanders. But rather than be weighed down by the prime-time legacy, Shedeur has carved out his own identity, calm, methodical, and laser-focused on execution. That's part of what has analysts buzzing. Orlovsky pointed out that Shedeur's style isn't about highlight reel chaos. It's about efficient, mistake-free football. He's not chasing the big play, Orlovsky said. He's building drives, moving the chains, and putting his team in position to score. That's winning football. And that's the kind of football that gets you promoted from promising rookie to legitimate starter. Of course, not everyone's ready to hand him the reins yet. There are still critics, those who think he needs more time, more seasoning, more reps against first-team defenses before he's truly ready. But the list of those critics is shrinking fast. That's why the haters in panic headline isn't just for show. Every time Shedeur puts together another solid practice, every time he walks off the field with a line of completions and no turnovers, it chips away at the arguments against him. When respected veterans like Jeudy go on record with their praise, it becomes harder and harder to dismiss the idea that Shedeur could be the guy sooner than expected. Jeudy's endorsement also flips a common rookie narrative. Usually, it's the quarterback praising his receivers, trying to build goodwill. In this case, it's a receiver, one of the most important on-field relationships a QB can have, publicly vouching for the QB's ability to lead and deliver. That speaks volumes. And then there's the pressure element. Preseason is one thing, but the NFL is an unforgiving stage. Most rookies tighten up under the weight of expectation. But according to Jeudy and others, Shedeur seems to thrive in those moments. When the play breaks down, his eyes stay downfield. When the pocket collapses, he moves with intent instead of panic. That calm is contagious. It spreads to the offensive line, the receivers, even the sideline. Stephen A. framed it perfectly. You can't teach poise. You either have it or you don't. Shedeur Sanders has it. It's not just the on-field demeanor. It's the way Shedeur is already thinking like a franchise player. He studies the playbook, like someone who knows his future depends on it. He works on mechanics until the footwork, release, and follow-through are muscle memory. He's constantly asking for feedback, not just from coaches, but from teammates who see the game from different perspectives. That's how you win over a locker room. And once the locker room is yours, the rest is just a matter of opportunity. The opportunity might be coming sooner than anyone thought. The preseason buzz is turning into preseason momentum. Fans are starting to talk less about if and more about when. Analysts are openly speculating about what the offense would look like with Shedeur in charge. And every time he takes the field, that speculation looks a little more justified. Jeudy summed it up in the simplest way possible. He's ready. That's all I'm going to say. He's ready. Coming from a player who's caught passes from some of the league's best, that's not something you take lightly. The next few weeks will be critical. More reps, tougher defenses, higher stakes. But if Shedeur keeps trending the way he has, it's going to get harder and harder for the Browns or any team to keep him off the field. For now, the haters can keep finding reasons to doubt. The people who've been in the huddle with Shedeur Sanders know better. And if Jeudy's words are any indication, the NFL is about to find out just how ready this rookie really is. The thing about Jeudy's praise for Shedeur Sanders is that it didn't come in passing. It wasn't one of those polite, yeah, he's doing good, answers players sometimes give to avoid saying too much. This was specific, deliberate, and said with conviction. You could tell Jeudy meant every word, and that matters. In the NFL, locker room dynamics are everything. When a player of Jeudy's caliber, with his experience and reputation, goes out of his way to publicly endorse a rookie quarterback, that endorsement carries weight, not just with fans and media, but inside the team facility. Because here's the reality. Veterans don't hand out compliments easily. They've seen hype rookies flame out before. They've caught passes from quarterbacks who looked the part in practice, but disappeared when it mattered. They know the difference between potential and performance. Jeudy is saying that Shedeur is both. In his comments, Jeudy emphasized how much more comfortable Shedeur looks now compared to when he first stepped on the field for a rookie minicamp. The hesitation that sometimes creeps into a rookie's dropbacks, gone. The overly cautious reads that delay a throw, those have been replaced by confident, in stride deliveries. He's just more in control now, Jeudy said. At first, you could tell he was still learning, getting the timing down, figuring out how fast the game moves at this level. Now, he's already adapting. He knows where to go with the ball, and he's putting it exactly where it needs to be. That's not just about arm talent. It's about processing speed. In the NFL, windows close fast. A rookie who can read a defense, adjust in real time, and deliver on target is a rookie who's ahead of schedule. Jeudy also talked about leadership, and that might be the most important part. You see it in the huddle, he said. When he talks, guys listen. Not because he's trying to be loud or over the top, but because he's confident. He's prepared. He knows what he's talking about. That's the kind of respect you can't fake. You don't walk into an NFL locker room and automatically have veterans defer to you. It's something you earn. And the fact that Shedeur is earning it this early says a lot about his approach. Part of that approach, according to teammates, is how much time Shedeur spends studying. He's not just memorizing plays. He's understanding why those plays are called in certain situations. That is a subtle but important distinction. A quarterback who knows a why can adapt when the defense shows something unexpected. Coaches have reportedly been impressed with how quickly he can recall plays in meetings, even breaking down what went wrong on a rep without having to watch the film first. That shows not just memory, but awareness. A quarterback who's mentally present for every snap. And it's not just mental. Jeudy pointed out that Shedeur has been working tirelessly on the technical side of his game, too. His footwork has tightened up, his release has gotten faster, and his deep ball is coming out with more consistency. These are the kinds of mechanical improvements that separate a promising rookie from one who's ready to compete for a starting job. The chemistry between Jeudy and Shedeur is also developing quickly in practice. The two have been seen staying after drills to work on timing routes, fine-tuning the nuances of their connection. That's the extra work that shows up in games, when the quarterback throws to spot before the receiver even turns his head, and the ball is there waiting. It's that kind of attention to detail that analysts like Dan Orlovsky have been pointing to when they talk about Shedeur's readiness. Orlovsky's breakdowns have focused on how well Shedeur anticipates throws, hitting receivers in stride instead of waiting for them to come open. That's an advanced skill for a rookie, and it's part of why the conversation around him is accelerating. Stephen A. Smith has taken the praise even further, saying he believes Shedeur will be a starter much sooner than people think. Smith's argument is simple. If you got a young quarterback who's already showing poise, accuracy, and leadership, there's no reason to keep him on the sideline longer than necessary. Adam Schefter hasn't gone quite that far publicly, but he's acknowledged the buzz building inside NFL circles. Schefter has pointed out that word is spreading fast. Shedeur's name comes up in conversations not just about rookies, but about quarterbacks in general. That's not common for a player who hasn't even played a regular season snap yet. Of course, the haters are still out there. There are those who say it's just preseason, that Shedeur hasn't faced enough first-team defenses to justify the hype. Others point to his draft position, arguing that if he was truly ready, he wouldn't have lasted until the later rounds. But here's the thing. Every week that passes, those arguments get weaker. When a rookie is commanding the respect of veterans, producing in practice, and backing it up in preseason games, you can't hide behind "it's too soon" forever. Eventually, the production forces a conversation. Jeudy's comments feel like a turning point in that conversation. This wasn't just media or analysts talking. It was a player who sees Shedeur up close every day. And when a teammate publicly says he's ready, it adds a layer of credibility that no outside voice can match. The ripple effect is real. Other teammates will start to echo the sentiment. Coaches will be asked about it more often in press conferences. Fans will start calling for it louder. And if Shedeur continues to deliver in the next preseason games, the pressure to give him a bigger role will become impossible to ignore. Inside the building, that momentum matters. Coaches may still control the depth chart, but they're not immune to the energy around a player. If the locker room believes in a guy, if the fans believe in a guy, if the performance backs it up, that's when opportunities open. For Shedeur, the focus doesn't change. The best thing he can do now is exactly what he's been doing, stacking good days, sharpening his command of the offense, and keeping that even-keeled demeanor no matter how loud the noise gets. And that's one of the most impressive parts of his young career so far. He hasn't let the hype or the doubters shake him. He's the same steady, prepared, competitive player, whether at a Thursday walkthrough or a live 2-minute drill. Jeudy's praise might be making the haters panic, but it's not making Shedeur complacent. If anything, it's just fueling the work. And that's why his rise feels less like a flash in the pan and more like the start of something real. the way things are trending. This isn't just about one good preseason. It's about the early chapters of career that could define the next era for his team. And with veterans like Jeudy standing firmly in his corner, Shedeur Sanders isn't just knocking on the door of opportunity. He's already halfway through it. The more you look at how Jeudy talked about Shedeur Sanders, the more it becomes clear this wasn't just casual praise. It was a public signal, a signal to the locker room, to the coaches, to the league. This rookie is ready for more. Jeudy's comments weren't generic. He's doing great platitudes. He spoke like someone who's watched the transformation happen right in front of him. From rookie minicamp jitters to OTAs, from early training camp reads to live-action preseason drives, Jeudy has had a front-row seat to Shedeur's development. And Jeudy didn't just talk about physical skills. He emphasized the intangibles. That's the part the haters don't want to hear. Anyone can watch a highlight reel and say, yeah, nice throw. But when a veteran receiver talks about a quarterback's presence, command, and trust factor, that's a whole different level. You can feel it when you're in the huddle with him. Jeudy said, he's not guessing. He knows exactly what he's calling, exactly what he wants from each guy. And if something's off, he tells you, that's not normal for a rookie. Those words cut through because NFL huddles aren't classrooms. There's no time to be timid. 11 guys need to be on the same page instantly, and if the quarterback doesn't take control, the whole thing unravels. The fact that Shedeur is already doing that, and doing it with veterans' confidence, is why Jeudy's praise has so much weight. Earning respect before earning starts. In the NFL, respect usually follows starts. Play in games, win games, make big plays. That's how most quarterbacks build credibility. But Shedeur is flipping that order. He's earning the respect first, which is exactly why analysts like Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky are leaning into the conversation about him deserving more reps now. Stephen A. went on one of his classic monologues, breaking down how rare it is for a rookie, especially one drafted outside the top rounds, to win over a locker room so quickly. You can see it on their faces, he said. When Shedeur's and the team moves different, the energy shifts. You can't fake that. Orlovsky, ever the XS and OS guy, highlighted how Shedeur's decision-making is what sets him apart. He's not just reacting to plays. He's anticipating them. That's something most rookies don't figure out until year 2 or 3, and some never do at all. Preparation over hype. What's fueling this momentum isn't hype alone. It's work. Behind the scenes, Shedeur's been clocking hours that don't show up on any stat sheet. Late-night film sessions. Extra walk-through with receivers. Quiet conversations with linemen about protection calls. That's the grind that veterans notice. Jeudy specifically mentioned how Shedeur will pull him aside after a rep to talk about what he saw and how they can tweak the route for the next play. That kind of detailed work is how chemistry is built. And it's why you're hearing phrases like already on the same page being used before they've even played meaningful snaps together. And Shedeur's approach to mistakes is another reason he's earning trust so fast. He doesn't sulk, doesn't point fingers. He absorbs the feedback and applies it immediately. In a league where quarterbacks are often judged by how they handle failure, that maturity matters. The leadership piece. Leadership in the NFL is a tricky thing for a rookie quarterback. You can't walk in barking orders. You'll lose a locker room before you even get started. But you also can't shrink into the background. The key is finding the balance. And from what Jeudy and others are saying, Shedeur's already found it. He doesn't try to dominate the room, but when he speaks, guys listen. That's because he's prepared. And preparation commands respect. A quarterback who knows his assignments, knows your assignments, and can articulate both without hesitation earns a different kind of credibility. Myles Garrett noticing Shedeur's composure is another layer here. Garrett's a defensive monster, one of the most dominant players in the league. And if he's tipping his cap to the rookie's poise under pressure, that's a statement. Because Garrett's job in practice is to rattle quarterbacks. If Shedeur's unshaken, that's not just mental toughness. It's a competitive edge. Buzz becoming leverage. What started as small preseason buzz is now creeping into serious roster conversations. Adam Schefter has hinted at it. There's no stopping this momentum. When a player gets endorsements from both sides of the ball, national analysts, and respected veterans like Jeudy, coaches have to at least consider giving him a bigger platform. And the haters? They're in panic mode because the excuses are running out. It's just practice doesn't work when you got game footage of Shedeur dropping dimes. He's not ready starts to sound hollow when veterans are publicly saying he is. Why Jeudy's praise hits different. It's one thing for a coach to praise a quarterback. Coaches are supposed to talk up their guys. It's another for a receiver, whose production literally depends on the quarterback, to go out of his way to vouch for him. That's about trust. Trust that the ball will be where it's supposed to be. Trust that the QB knows the situation. Trust that, when it matters, the play will be made. And Jeudy isn't just praising him privately in the locker room. He's saying it where fans, media, and the rest of the league can hear. That puts a different kind of spotlight on the coaching staff, because now the question isn't just, when will Shedeur get more reps? It's, why wouldn't you give more reps to a quarterback your Pro Bowl caliber receiver says is ready? The ripple effect. Public endorsements like this don't stay isolated. Teammates hear them. Reporters repeat them. Fans latch onto them. Before long, you got a groundswell of support that makes it harder for a coach to stick to a slow play development plan. If Shedeur comes out in the next preseason game and delivers another strong performance, Jeudy's praise will get replayed alongside the highlights. And if the starters struggle while Shedeur shines, those two narratives will merge into one loud conversation. The mental game. What's been most striking in Shedeur's early NFL days isn't just a physical talent. It's the mental control. Rookies are often jittery, even when they're not showing it. They rush through progressions, force throws, or bail on plays too soon. But Shedeur's been patient. He's willing to take the check down instead of chasing the hero throw. He's comfortable letting a play develop, even with a collapsing pocket. That kind of patience doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from preparation and confidence in your own ability to execute. And Jeudy's praise confirms what we've been seeing. Shedeur's not playing like he's trying to survive the NFL. He's playing like he belongs here. From potential to pressure. The flip side of all this positivity is the pressure creates. The more people line up behind Shedeur, the more every snap becomes part of the case for or against giving him the job sooner. That can crush some rookies. But from what teammates say, Shedeur seems to welcome it. He's not scared of the moment, Jeudy said. If anything, he wants it. That's exactly what you want to hear from a quarterback who might be the future of your franchise. It means that when the chance comes, whether it's this season or next, he won't be stepping into the spotlight for the first time. He'll be walking into a role he's already prepared himself to own. The coming weeks. Now it's about consistency. Every rep in practice, every throw in preseason, every interaction in the huddle. It all builds toward the moment when the coaching staff has to decide whether to keep holding him back or to let him lead. And make no mistake, the decision is coming. It might not be in week 1, but with the way Shedeur's trajectory is climbing, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. When Jerry Jeudy says you're ready, when Myles Garrett respects your composure, when Stephen A. Smith is campaigning for your promotion, when Dan Orlovsky is breaking down your mechanics like you're a seasoned vet. That's not just noise. That's a movement. The haters can keep scrambling for reasons to doubt. The people inside the building and the players catching passes from Shedeur Sanders know better. They've seen the throws. They've felt the energy in the huddle. They know the rookie isn't just holding a spot. He's building a case. And if the next few games go anything like the last few weeks, Kevin Stefanski and his staff won't be able to hold that case back much longer. Because when your teammates start talking like Jerry Jeudy just did, the countdown to your moment doesn't stop. It speeds up,